best teacher, the best education. And seniors over the years have already gained so much experience that they have honed their skills in many specific areas of working life that they can now apply to ensure their success in any venture that they have a passion for.
Good day to all of our listeners here at Senior's Fireside Chat. We welcome you to another episode of Senior's Learning. Together with me is the co-founder of Senior, Lev Kalang. This is your host, Bobby Ancheta. Hello, Lev. How are you?
Hi, Sir Bob. Meron tayong bagong kasama today, aside of course from our podcast guest.
So we are growing indeed.
Mhm. So she is our new advocacy coordinator. So we have with us Kathy Monterola. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Miss Leb. Hi, Sir Bob. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Hi, Sir
team.
Bob. Yes
Yes.
po.
And welcome to our podcast. Si Kathy also, her father is already a senior citizen. Both of your parents, or just your father?
Just my father, Miss Leb.
And as you're
So
doing,
this episode, so
yes, sir.
this episode is also going to be very, very interesting and very educational sa father ni Kathy.
Yes, and I think she has mga questions then about for our podcast guest about senior entrepreneurship. So nag-jump na ako sa topic natin. Oh, yeah, but Sir Bob, why senior entrepreneurship?
Well, senior entrepreneurship is something that people need to know is also another area where seniors can contribute to our society. Because many, as we have already discussed in our previous episodes, karamihan ng mga tao, when we talk about senior citizens, we all the time equate that one with their twilight years. And that's not necessarily true. In fact, seniors have a lot to teach the younger generation, not only with regard to values, but also with regard to their experiences. They can teach us about what their hits and misses were in in the past. So in the process, we can gain some wisdom from the learning, from their experiences. And right now, we have really chosen a very good and interesting topic because this is also in line with our advocacy na we are encouraging senior citizens, the older adults, not to despair because even with retirement comes another opportunity. They can once again open a new chapter in their lives. And our topic this morning, as you mentioned, is about entrepreneurship for seniors.
Yes.
So marami tayong matutunan from our guest resource person today.
Definitely. And that is why, Sir Bob, we are honored, okay, to have with us. He is a dynamic, we would say a dynamic, semi-retired, third age entrepreneur. So at the age of 71, he is still running his own organization as a managing consultant of A to Z Enterprise Solutions, a business management consulting company. So he's also a business development consultant throughout the years of his service as an employed person. He graduated with a master's in administration, general management from the Asian Institute of Management. So welcome to our podcast episode this morning, Sir Arturo Cholo Ramirez. Hello, sir.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Sir Cholo.
I'd like to thank you for inviting me to guest in this episode of your podcast.
Yes, Sir Cholo. And maraming salamat din po. Because definitely we would learn a lot of things from you as you share to us your experience throughout the years as a business person. And of course, even after retiring, no, from like as an employed person, you're still in the field of business, running your own company.
Can senior citizens still be successful when they open businesses when they have already retired?
Oh,
Right
yes,
off the
very
bat.
much so. Yes, very much so. Remember, I think we all know that experience is the best teacher, the best education. And seniors over the years have already gained so much experience that they've honed their skills in many specific areas of working life that they can now apply uh, to ensure their success in any venture that they have a passion for.
And yes, and it's good, Sir Cholo, that you mentioned, no, that experience indeed would add to the success of the those like our older adults who would want to venture into entrepreneurship. Their chances of success, I would say, in opening their own venture or in running their own venture. Kasi that's the thing na parang there is kind of a like there is this fear which is talagang naikwento din po ito sa amin ng mga participants ko namin sa RTAT. So that's the Retirement Transition Assistance Training, or we call it RTAT. So yun po yung binibigay po natin na training doon po sa mga magre-retire. So they really open up to us and sabi nila, kaya-kaya namin to, ma'am. Wala naman kami experience sa business, but they have the drive. And of course, well, the most important thing is meron silang naipundar for capital, 'di ba? I mean that is very very important. So nandun yung of course yung fear nila, so ayaw nilang mag-risk. But you know how we're doing it with our entrepreneurship bootcamp, or we call it Seniorpreneurs Bootcamp. We are encouraging them to look at entrepreneurship as another means of keeping their retirement productive. And with their experience, Sir Bob, kasi 'di ba, you're teaching them entrepreneurial skills and competencies. How was it? Do you think skill wise, nandun pa ba yung drive doon sa mga trinain mo, or do you see them actually as like functioning as CEOs of their own, organizations?
I can see that.
Mhm.
I saw that one. Except that I think we also have to make sure, or they themselves will have to make sure that they are able to put their priorities in order. What I'm trying to say is that although they are interested, I think one of the stumbling blocks that they have is still that notion na ano bang gagawin ko? What can I do? What should I do to become successful? One of the things that I taught them was developing their own resumes or CVs, preparing their CVs or resumes. But yun din, I think one of the things that they are still currently thinking is when I go to retirement, what are the first things that I need to do? So siguro before we can further go to, let's say, the other skills, the secondary skills, we have to develop that entrepreneurial mindset muna na, okay, what are the things that I'm good at? What should I do next? How do I plan the activities that I should that I need to do? Sir Cholo, I'd like to ask you then, what are the first things that seniors who want to get into, let's say, a business venture should do? What are the first things that they should do in order to be able to start their new businesses?
I think the very first thing is to take stock of what you have in terms of materials, in terms of skills and knowledge,
Mhm.
because remember, you cannot actually give what you do not have. I mean,
Mhm.
you cannot apply what you do not have in the first place. So take stock of this, and then most important really is to find out what your passion is. Do you have a passion? In fact, can you leverage your passion so that it leverage it into an entrepreneurial business. And once you've answered that, uh, the next thing is what is needed. Find out what's needed for you to establish this as a viable business. Uh, and compare that to your assessment of what you already have and determine what you need that you do not have so that this can be a viable enterprise. So this is the process actually that you have to go into.
Basic building blocks, I would say. Yung passion, no, that is very very important. That is why, again, I will always refer to this kasi sila yung first batch ng ano natin for our seniorpreneurs bootcamp. The people from the 53rd Engineer Brigade. So when we did the needs assessment or our TNA prior to conducting the training, we asked them about all of this. Their like even their hobbies, we ask them the things that you're passionate about. And kaya nga po yung isa doon, kasi he's into hog racing. Tapos yung isa naman, gusto niya ng farming. Kaya naisipan nila, ma'am, parang gusto ko mag-organic farm. And then we invited an organic farmer, business owner who's doing organic farming to talk about it. So yes, I would say, Sir Cholo, tama po kayo doon. No? That's actually parang pinaka basic yun eh. What you're passionate about or even like what you're advocating, you could turn it into a venture, a business venture. So kayo po, Sir Cholo, so let us, dun po sa experience niyo po, being, an entrepreneur, paano po kayo nagsimula? If you could, share to us.
Attitude actually, since childhood, I would categorize my worldview as that of being a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I take a look at things, and processes even, and check out where there are gaps and what the gaps are and how to fill those gaps. So I'd already been trained. I trained myself to be a problem solver. And that's how I started as being an entrepreneur. That's the reason why to this day, I am a management consultant or a business consultant, because that is really how you start in business. You actually provide a service that is needed or provide a need.
A solution to a problem.
Sir Cholo, madagdag ko lang. Can you please illustrate to us your journey into entrepreneurship after you retired? Can you please tell us what was that first business that you opened up, that you put up after retirement? Give us, let's say, share to us your journey.
Actually, I retired at 65, and that was 6 years ago. And by that time, all our children had their own lives and they'd left home. So we were in an empty nest, my wife and I. So our house of 6 bedrooms pretty much was vacant. Plus, we had to move to our ancestral home. So we practically vacated our house. So what I thought of doing was converting the old house into rentable space. So I started doing that. When I checked out affordability in the area, renting out the whole house would not be affordable because it would not also be in a subdivision. It's in a commercial area, a residential commercial area in Mandaluyong. So I decided to just repurpose the rooms and convert them into studios. So I added bathrooms and kitchenettes to each of the rooms and subdivided our living and dining and family room area, and built another 6 rooms. So
Mm.
altogether, I ended up with 12 rentable studios. But that was done over a period of 3 years.
Okay.
And we're now, well, rented, we've rented about, at the moment, 10 rooms. 10 of the studios are rented.
Okay.
So that's what I meant by saying take stock of what you already have,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and yeah, build on it.
So when you
That's really an
retired, yeah, yes, sir, Bob.
yeah, that's really an illustration of entrepreneurship.
Mm. Yes.
Creating solutions to perhaps issues or problems that you can see in your immediate environment. And also, sabi nga ni Sir Cholo, taking stock of what you have already at present. It could be materials, it could be physical materials in your hands, or it could be even your passion, your interest, or your knowledge and skills. Take stock of those and create that into something that is useful for you so that you can start your own business.
So, Sir Cholo, would you say that going into rentals, because this is also like one of the ventures that we uncovered, I would say uncovered, no? Doon sa mga RTAT participants natin, when we asked them, what possible venture would you want to go into upon retirement? So they mentioned this. Would you say that rentals, could this be like one of the viable businesses for those who will be retiring or those who are
Yeah.
already retired?
Yes, that's I think more or less passive income,
Mm-hmm.
rentals, real property. Plus, consider most of those who actually retire already own their own homes or almost own their own homes, and by that time, their children would probably also be already, having their own lives and living elsewhere, and they would be faced with an empty nest. These retirees, so that's something that they can do. They can convert part of their homes, which they by this time would already own, fully paid for, and rent out the extra space.
Yes, that's really something that people who have retired can look into. When Sir Cholo said that that's actually passive income, but
Mm-hmm.
aside from being passive, even though it's passive income, it doesn't mean you will not take any effort to manage that particular business. What I'm trying to say is that even if you have, let's say, rentals, you also have to constantly ensure that the property that you have are well managed and they are still in working condition, livable ang environment niya, or uh, if there are, let's say, electricity cables that need repairs, this is another thing that I and my sister who live with our mother na meron naman siya mga apartments, meron siya mga rooms na pinaparentahan niya. You will receive issues and problems like the maintenance of the utility of the water, the faucet. If there is there are problems like walang kuryente or yung walang tubig, hindi barado yung, let's say, I'm sorry for mentioning this one, but even the toilet bowls, kung barado sila, they would go to you and then they will tell you na, okay, meron kaming problemang ganito. So, that's it. To make the long story short, when you manage businesses na meron kang mga renta, meron kang mga spaces for rent, it doesn't mean that, yes, the term is passive income, but it doesn't mean that you have to be passive. You have to take an active role in the management of these businesses.
Yes.
That's true, Bob. Actually, what will happen is you might be awakened in the middle of the night because something is leaking in one of your rental spaces.
Mhm, mhm. One of the several things, no, that you have to be prepared of if you go into the rental business, and say for example sa case ni Sir Cholo that you are also living, I guess, in the same building, right? Or the same house where like you're having spaces for rent. Ano po ba, like what other ventures, like small enterprises or small business ventures, Sir Cholo, would you advise para sa mga ano po natin, older adults who would want to go into entrepreneurship? Which you
Um,
this is something that they could look into, especially po sa landscape natin sa Pilipinas, the resources that we have in the country, and what you think will work best for the senior entrepreneurs.
Interestingly enough, what we've seen now in the new normal is there's a lot of online business
Mhm.
that's sprouted, but these are mostly run by not by seniors or retirees, but the younger people. But the seniors can also go into it. All they
Yes.
need is to learn how to you know be in social media
Mhm.
and use social media platforms for getting into this online reselling business. Um, in fact, if you go to Shopee or
Lazada,
Lazada, you'll find a lot of online business resellers
Mhm.
there.
Even Facebook Marketplace led, na eto nga yung nakikita natin. There are some people who sell food online. So yung
Oh,
mga
yeah.
dessert, yung mga snacks, they can actually sell locally. Yung ginagawa lang nila, they have to make an arrangement with, let's say, a courier service or a delivery
Courier service.
service. Including na rin dito sa city namin, here in Mindanao, sa city namin, meron ng mga delivery services na nagsusulputan. Merong, for example, bokbok, ihatod, and you know that in Bisaya, when we say hatod, that means to deliver. And
Deliver.
it's
Deliver.
letter E-hatod, because it's electronic.
Yeah.
You book the delivery or the
Online.
courier service through Facebook or through text messaging. So
Mhm.
they just come up with, let's say, an arrangement with maybe a group or isang kakilala nilang driver ng tricycle or ano ba, na sila yung sila yung magdadala ng binibenta nila. So dito sa Pagadian, for example, turon, empanada, chikalang. So even these mga kakanin, they can actually do that from their homes.
Yes, yes. And also,
Yes.
I would say, involving your family, could be your children, kung pwede, in your planned venture. I think it would greatly help itong mga older adults po natin who would want to go into entrepreneurship. We are also like emphasizing this whenever we do our art path. We tell our participants that if you have mga dependents, or say for example your wife or your kids, if you'd want them to be part of your planned business or venture, uh, you know, we would highly encourage you to invite them. Uh, Iba pa rin yun yung parang you have your support system then in running your own venture or in running your business, especially doon po sa mga first timers po natin sa negosyo. What about you, Sir Cholo? Are you like the sole proprietor of your venture, or is this part of like a family run business?
I've actually turned it over already to, it's my wife who's now running that, because I still do a bit of construction. That's small construction work, renovations, and in fact, that's where I, um, in converting my old house, our house before, that's where I actually gained a lot of experience in actually doing the construction myself and not depending on a third party to do the construction work.
Before our time runs out, perhaps you can ask Kathy if she has some questions to ask Sir Cholo.
Yes, especially since your father is retired na po or magre-retire pa.
Right. Sir Cholo,
He left.
ano lang, tawag dito, you mentioned kasi earlier na, di ba po, since now it's pandemic, iba na yung, kumbaga, people tend to use yung technology in terms of business. In your case, sir, what are the most challenging part of opening your own business na ngayong pandemic, tapos, syempre, technology-wise, di ba? Everyone is using the internet, their mobile phones. Since in your line of business po na napili, which is yung rental, ano po yung challenging part sa inyo ngayon?
Actually, it's vetting your lessees. It's because when you put it out there in social media that you have rentable space, and people will come to check it out, you also need to check them out. That's where the challenge comes from. So what we actually rely on is more of referrals, recommendations from our existing lessees, because at least from them we can have more information about the potential lessees. But in the new normal, I think one really major challenge there is getting to advertise or let the people out there know what your product or service is. And if location is not going to be an issue for you to be able to render the service or sell and deliver the product.
As you grow older, more experiences in life, di ba? Also with a wider network, more resources, you would say na magiging mas fully equipped ka pa to venture into entrepreneurship. It's not with the age na para lang yung mga startups, para lang yan sa mga millennials, para lang yan sa mga nasa 30s o yung mga fresh grad. You could have your own startup at the age of 50, 60, even 70. Diba?
Yes,
So,
you would have become wiser, more knowledgeable, and more discerning.
mhm.
So at least as far as uh, making an informed decision in entering into a venture or starting up a new venture, you would already be very highly qualified to make that decision. Um, what I'd also like to share is my son, who actually works for a bank, they were, asked to work from home, and so he found out that they had more time because he saved time from traveling to his office and back. So he bought a washing machine and started a laundry business for the neighborhood. And because he was successful in that, his customers now, uh, for his laundry customers in the neighborhood, he decided also to expand and bought a water purifying system and also started selling purified water, the drinking water.
Mhm.
So these are things that uh, I mean, he leveraged his extra time this way. And this can be done also by seniors who actually have a lot of retirees who actually have a lot of time in their hands. And most of the time really is just filled with boredom.
Yes. So sa mga nanay,
Nice yun, no?
kaya i-encourage mo yung father mo. Sa mga nanay and tatay ko na minsan, like if you are nearing retirement, no, and then you feel the drive to go into entrepreneurship, to open your own money-making venture, yung tipong pang sideline lang muna, yung sinabi po ni Sir Bob na yung mga kakanin. If you have the time, if you're still capable to do it, then do it. Maganda rin po yung we had a guest before Sir Bob sa isang podcast episode po natin, a retired master teacher from Surigao. She actually started, she opened her own store prior to retirement. So
Mhm.
nag-start na siya investing sa business, and then after she retired, she was able to continue it, ganon. So even before retirement, do consider, I would say.
Yes, sir. So it's very much better for people to become active even after their retirement. They have to find their purposes in life so that they will not lead a sedentary life, because we know how dangerous it is when you lead a sedentary life. You're not able to exercise anymore. Your body becomes sluggish, and then aatakihin ka na ng mga
Yeah.
diseases or health problems. So it's a lot easier if people really become active. So we're reaching we have gone beyond our time already, but I would like to ask Sir Cholo this question. How would you encourage, or what advice can you give retirees or those who are about to retire, so that they will be inspired and encouraged to go on an entrepreneurship venture?
They've already gained so much wisdom and knowledge from their experience. I would say this very simply: use it or lose it. What you said exactly. In biology, is it in biology? Uh, there is a tradition among, uh, I guess, farmers, that if you want a tree to bear fruit, you threaten it. So what actually it means is, I've tried that. I had a plant. I planted an avocado, which after 8 years wasn't bearing fruit, and I just remember that. So what I did was tinaga ko yung avocado to threaten its life.
Mhm.
And the next season, it actually started bearing fruit. So that's what I mean when I say to encourage seniors, use it. Use what you've already gained all those years, or you will lose it. Same way, if you do not use your muscles, you lose muscle mass.
Thank you very much, Sir Cholo. Just like one of the articles that I have read published on an online news platform,
Mhm.
we are only as young as how we feel. Age is just a number. We are as young as how we feel. Now, if you feel old, then you will definitely become old. But if you still feel young and active, do make the most of what you can, because you can still do it. You have the potential to do whatever your mind sets your body to do.
Thank you, Sir Cholo, for the inspiring words po. Para doon sa mga older adults po natin who are listening right now sa episode po natin na ito. So like what Sir Cholo said and what also Sir Bob emphasized, again, age is just a number, and then you build on your experience, you make use of it. You basically you are equipped na with the things that would help you if you'd want to venture into entrepreneurship to help you succeed.
Okay, so Sir Cholo, you wanted to say something?
Yes, this is a very laudable endeavor of senior, and I actually like to express my gratitude again for inviting me to guest in this particular podcast.
Yes, Sir Cholo,
So,
and definitely we will be seeing you again as one of our speakers in one of our training programs for seniorpreneurs.
Yay!
Yes,
thank
and
you.
kasi mas marami pa po kayong mai-inspire ng mga ano po natin, ng mga future retirees or even those who are already retired. All right?
Well, thank you
So
very much.
that's it for
Thank you
today.
also.
Thank you very much for listening to us in Yours Learning. This is your host, Bobby Ancheta.
And this is Lev. Yes, Kathy?
This is Kathy.
Okay.
And we hope to see you. Sir Cholo, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir
And to all
Cholo.
of our listeners here at Seniors Learning, thank you very much for staying with us. Stay tuned for our next segments in the future, and we promise to deliver you worthwhile content, educational content, especially for our seniors. Thank you and good day.
See you, everyone.